All right, welcome to week 5 of our NFL Football League Pick'em series, whatever you want to call it. My name is Chris, and joined with me is my friend Jason.
Hey, Chrissy, bad start on this end. I just had my alarm go off to remind me that we had this video to do. Um, we're off to a good start, huh?
All right, let's get right back into it. First up, we got our week 4 recap. Let's try to speed through this. I guess first I'll say what our record was for this week. Well, strangely, we both won 11 and 5 because Jason picked most of the stuff that I picked, and we kind of negated each other on both the conflicted picks, so we both had the same record this week, and that makes for a season total of 41 and 23 for me, and 37 and 27 for Jason. Your boy Chrissy still has that 4-game lead.
Yeah, I mean, 11 and 5 isn't too bad, especially with how crazy the NFL's been. You got me on the Bears and Rams game, and I got you on the Bucks and Eagles, it looks like.
That's right.
Yeah, so tell me what were some of your biggest surprises from week 4? You can tell me for
Well,
three if you want to.
we can start at the top, I guess. Yeah, just how hard it was for the Cowboys to overcome the Giants doesn't bode well for the remainder of the season. Cowboys are just looking absolutely wretched right now for their expectations.
Yeah, you guys are struggling to keep up the 500.
Yeah, and then next up we got a really cool game. Unfortunately, I didn't get it in my market or whatever. The Falcons outlasting the Saints. I am a big Kirk Cousins fan, and we both did call this for Atlanta, so that was cool.
Yeah, I think most people had this for New Orleans. We both made a good call here. New Orleans got off to such a hot start and really kind of been faltering since. Do you think they're maybe not for real now?
Uh, I think it's kind of like the same since Derek Carr's been there. They'll have like flashes of brilliance, and then they'll kind of descend into mediocrity, you know. And that's
Yeah.
not a knock on Derek Carr. It's just the team in general. I think Derek Carr is pretty talented, honestly.
And the Kirk Cousins learned the offense, looking a lot better than I or I think most people expected. Their receiving game is actually kind of pulling it together too in a way that they haven't in the last several years.
Yeah, they're still not giving it enough to my boy Drake London as much as I would have anticipated. But what are you gonna do?
It's the fall of London.
All right, next up we got the Bengals getting their first win against the Panthers. Not too exciting, I suppose.
They, they did not exactly crush the Panthers in this.
Well, Andy Dalton's at the helm now. He's actually talented, so now there's some
Mhm.
life where once there was none. Then next up, we got the Bears beating the Rams, and this is the one where Jason picked the Rams to beat the Bears. What do you think happened this one?
I did not see this game at all this week. I think it was probably I want to blame Sean McVay, but having not seen the game,
Uh,
I can't necessarily blame the game management or the play calling. I will say the Rams have had a lot of injuries. They've lost good players on defense. I still think that like when uninjured, they're a team with elite talent and bad game management. What do you think,
uh,
Ab?
I don't know. The Bears just have an insanely good defense, and
They really do.
Caleb Williams is playing like one notch better like every week. I
Mhm.
don't know. I mean, they might just be snowballing. I don't know. I didn't get
It's
to
in
watch it
a
either, of
season
course.
where I think unlike the last couple seasons in the NFL, which were so offensively minded, it's definitely a season where really good defenses have gotten to shine. And at the same time, there have been some teams that we thought would have real good defenses that have kind of collapsed. But the teams that really have brought defense this season, you bring just a little bit of offense and it's enough.
All right, next up we got the Vikings barely beating the Packers to stay 4-0 in the game. This Jordan Love returned this game, but he didn't play very well. Had a lot of turnovers, but it was still really close.
Let's make a prediction, and it can be for a bonus point if you want, or it doesn't have to be. But how long will the Vikings stay unbeaten before their streak snaps?
Well, I haven't seen their schedule, so I can't really say.
Yeah, take a wild guess. Like with how good you think they are.
I'm gonna say they'll lose at least 5 games.
Kind of a bold
I haven't
prediction.
seen their schedule, so I don't really know. It's probably not a very super hard schedule.
So you don't think they're going to stay unbeaten for long?
No.
Yeah, I'll say they'll take it maybe 7 weeks, maybe week 8. I haven't looked at their schedule week by week either, but they're in an adequate division. Um, I would say week 8 probably is around then is when they'll fall. All
All
right, then we
right.
got Jack's Houston.
All right. Jacksonville extends its losing streak to 10 games now, and yeah, Houston wins this one. It was pretty
People
close
say
though.
Trevor Lawrence is a bust. I think he's just having an awful season, but I still think he's the real deal, like long term.
Yeah, they probably forced to keep him no matter what.
I think they're going to be very happy to have him. Even by the end of this year, certainly next year. I think he's just having a slump. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has had slumps before.
Mahomes in a slump right now, honestly. For him,
Maybe for him.
he's got almost as many picks as like touchdowns right now. Next up, we've got the Steelers getting their first loss of the season against the mostly Joe Flacco Colts this week. What do you think of that?
This is one we both I think felt pretty confident picking Pittsburgh in.
Yeah,
This was a big surprise to me.
yeah, Joe Flacco's so talented, man.
He's fine. There was the whole like elite quarterback thing, and let's be real, he was never elite.
He's elite enough to win a Super Bowl,
So was Brad Johnson.
and I don't think they had very many losing seasons when he was in Baltimore forever
He was
too.
good. I just don't think he was, he was like top tier. Um, Look, I mean, I don't know exactly how old he is. I imagine he's close to or past 40 at this point, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Good for him that he can still play, professional level football and, show up a good team like Pittsburgh.
Next up, we've got the Broncos just barely beating the Jets in quite the stinker of a game. The Broncos defense has really showed up this season.
Imagine for a moment having your defense hold the other team to 10 points and not being able to get it done.
Yeah,
Just imagine that.
it's a big disappointment for the Jets, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Sing-
Garrett Wilson had a bad fumble, I believe.
yeah, and I think
Had that look on his,
Aaron also got some minor injury this game too.
I told you, right? Like, if his lack of talent isn't going to sink the Jets, like the injuries definitely will for how vulnerable Rodgers is. I'm surprised he's held up to this point. I thought he'd be gone by week 4.
Okay. And then we got Chrissy's stinker of the week. The Eagles getting basically blown out by the Buccaneers.
Browns.
It was just a absolutely zilch offensive showing out of the Eagles, but they are missing like their top 2 receivers.
Yeah, you would still think with Hurts and like their just running game in general, their line being so good. I don't know if their line has any injuries, but the Eagles should be better than this. They're a good team. They're very sloppy, and I think if you're a betting man and you see them as heavy favorites, pick against them every time.
Damn. All right, next we got the red hot Redskins dumpstering the Cardinals, and they just look more impressive every week.
Dude, Jaden Phillips.
Jaden
He didn't do
Daniels.
no wrong these last few weeks.
His last name is Daniels.
What? Oh my God! I said Phillips.
Yeah.
Who was I thinking of?
I don't know. Philip Rivers.
Phillips Rivers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jaden Daniels. He looks so good. I finally gotten the chance to actually like see a bunch of his play in the last 2 weeks. Even in this week where I wasn't able to see much football, I did see kind of like an abridged version of this game, and man, man, can he make plays out of nothing. He reminds you of and I don't want to like go with just because he looks a little bit like him with the hairstyle and such, and because he played on the same team. But he really does remind me somewhat of vintage RG3 in RG3's first year, but better. He's making such good decision with the ball, and it's just really impressive.
You're right. If he lasts the whole season, he'll be better than RG3.
I mean, he's got to keep up this play, right? Like we've seen one or two bad games with him too, but dude, these last two games, 85% plus passing in both of them, he can do no wrong.
Next up, we got the Niners predictably taking out the Patriots. Probably don't need to talk about that too much. The Patriots'
Yeah,
magic
I guess
is.
not.
And
San
then,
Francisco dealing with a lot of injuries, so good to see them pull back after that head scratcher loss against the Rams.
yeah, but Debo and Kittle both came back for that game. So now it's just McCaffrey, who's not coming back till like November, from what I hear. So that's just crazy.
Yeah.
And then this Chiefs game was surprisingly close. I watched this game. I feel like the Chiefs just played down to the Chargers so much. It was so unfortunate the Chargers couldn't get the upset.
Yeah, I feel like in a lot of ways it was both teams playing well. You felt like the Chiefs were playing like way below their standard.
Definitely.
Who do you think was kind of the big culprit in that?
I don't know, really. The Chiefs just get so damn lucky, man. I think they get so many good penalties, you know.
Yeah, I think that's been kind of a meme, right? And
I don't
like,
think it's a meme. I think it's legit.
oh, it's been a meme, right? Like, everybody's always talking about, Tom Brady only got this many penalties called for him, but Patrick Mahomes got this many. I think largely like you make your own quote unquote luck, right? When it's really hard to actually stop you, the defense has to commit a lot more penalties, and then the refs do call those penalties when they're committing them.
All right, let's get through this rest part. We got the Browns losing to the Raiders in a close game, but needless to say, Deshaun Watson did not get those 4 touchdowns I predicted.
Oh, dude. They did get the loss you predicted, though.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, he did not Victor Crumb it, though.
And then the Bills in a very surprisingly one-sided game that I would have thought would have been way more competitive get blown out by the Ravens in probably the ugliest game I've seen Josh Allen play like in years.
Yeah, I was feeling really shitty on Sunday night, so I didn't actually watch more than a few minutes of this game. I was kind of just like looking at the scores on my phone every once in a while. But but man, seeing those scores come in, it was like my eyes were bugging out. This
Yeah,
was the biggest surprise of the week to me.
yeah, well, Derrick Henry got like 200 rushing yards, so that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And Josh only got like 17 fantasy points in my league, which is pretty damn crap.
Still probably plays. Well, I don't know about your league scoring, but
He usually gets
17.
50.
Yeah, 17 points in most of the leagues I've been in would be an okay score for a quarterback on any given week.
Okay, well, I need him to get me 50.
Well, that's because your team sucks.
No, man, it's a close game. All right, and then the Dolphins, in an act of charity, hand the Titans
Oh,
their very
speaking
first
of
win
teams
of the
that suck.
season.
Oh, this was very very painful for me to
I
watch.
can't believe we were both foolish enough to think there was enough talent to rub together in Miami for them to win, even with whoever was playing quarterback.
Yeah, bad call by us. I do think Tyler Huntley is a talented quarterback. I think he's a bad fit for Miami's offense. Like a quarterback who makes a lot of things happen with their legs and is, much better at short throws than long ones. Oof. Yeah, that's not who you really want in Miami. The Tyreek Hill got away a few times, and Huntley missed them. There were a couple of really, really bad-looking throws to A Chain and to Hill in the short game as well. I think one of which basically was a fumble, and they were able to kind of like give us the benefit of the doubt on the call and reverse the fumble. But yeah, it looked really bad. Miami's offense is nothing without Tua. And it's not because they don't have the tools. It's because they've built the offense so specifically around Tua's talents that it's just it's hard to do anything without him. But yeah, get Mike White, like trade for Flacco, just something, man. It's just mismanagement. Tennessee, their defense looked pretty good. Their offense was nothing spectacular. Don't let the 22 points or whatever it was fool you. Yeah.
31.
What?
31-12.
Yeah, it was 22 when I turned it off to watch real football. And then there was the safety, and then there was a touchdown at the end.
So what do you think? Straight trade for IR Tua for Deshaun Watson?
You definitely don't want Watson.
Okay. And then last but not least, we have the Seahawks getting their first loss of the season against the Lions. And,
Yeah, so much for that Legion of Boom. How many
yeah.
touchdowns did Jared Goff lay on these guys?
Well, you know,
5?
everyone's got a stinker.
6?
I don't know if he even got most of them.
Well,
But,
even the no, Goff was playing great. Even the and the running game did a lot, but even if he didn't actually like get the touchdown, he was involved in every drive.
yep, it was a close and exciting game, that's for sure.
Yeah, like
A lot.
in fairness to the other side, right? Gino looked pretty good except when it was clutch. In fact, very good except when it was clutch. Lockett made some crazy good grabs. Metcalf looked good. Um, yeah, really like both offenses played spectacularly in this game.
All right, on to week 5. And for week 5,
And then
we.
just kind of a funny thing on my prop bet, since we already discussed how bad yours was. I had that Buffalo would win by more points than the total in another game. If I had simply said Buffalo would lose by more points than the total in another game, I would have been right.
Yes, that is true. All right, for
I was
week
so
5,
wrong.
the Lions,
Yeah.
Chargers, Eagles, and Titans are on bye this week. And first up for tomorrow night, we have the Buccaneers at the Falcons. Another test for Kirk and the boys.
Man, I'm sorry if your team has a week 5 bye. At least it's not a week 4 bye like I thought it was. But that's still 13 weeks to close out the season, and then the immediate playoffs. It's pretty brutal.
Who do you like for this game?
I like Atlanta. I really believe in what Atlanta's put together on their offense. I think Tampa Bay is a very good team that plays okay on the road. I'm going to take the Falcons, probably in my first upset pick for them in the season.
Yeah, Buccaneers look so good, but I guess the Falcons have a surprisingly stout defense. I think I'm also going to pick the Falcons because
All right.
my boy Kirk. Next up, we've got the Jets going to Minnesota in what is definitely going to be a very difficult game for Aaron and the boys. Yeah, man, I don't know. I want to believe that the Jets are going to suddenly make this big splash and go on like, a 3 or 4 game winning streak, but it's been a rocky start. Could have been better, could have been a lot worse. But I guess I got to pick against Aaron and pick the Vikings.
If I were a New York Jets fan, I could probably squint hard enough and see the way that New York Jets defense could actually hold Minnesota in check. And, squint even harder and say the Jets offense isn't as bad as it's looked in certain games this season. And that maybe they can just turn a couple of those field goals into touchdowns, score enough points if their defense holds up.
Well, you gonna
That'd be
squint?
squinting.
How much are you gonna squint to? Or are you gonna pick the Jets?
Oh no, I'm gonna open my eyes now and take the Vikings.
Okay, me too. Next up, we've got the Panthers going to Chicago against the Bears, and I definitely don't think there's enough Andy Dalton magic to survive the Bears defense. That's why I'm definitely picking Chicago for this one.
Bears really have a pretty lousy offense. So you look
Yeah,
at it, say, can Andy Dalton get above the bar enough times on that Chicago defense to avoid turnovers and just put 2 touchdowns up on the board, and they'd probably win.
every time I pick
Um,
Chicago, they've won. So
I haven't seen I haven't seen much of the Andy Dalton led Carolina Panthers offense. I know it's been a lot better than it had been. So you're taking the Bears. I'm
yep.
tempted to get spicy here.
What's it gonna be?
I'm uh, I'm so torn. Let's see, they put up 24
TikTok.
last week. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna filibuster this. So you see, my opponent would not answer that question. Uh, I'll take the Panthers.
Okay, Panthers it is. Next up, we got Baltimore going to Cincinnati. And while the Bengals did get their first win, I just think they've been way too shaky on the season. And even though the Ravens are 2-2, I think they've looked a lot better even in their losses. So I'm definitely going to give this to Baltimore.
Yeah, Cincinnati's looked all right in its losses too. But yeah, man, yeah, their defense is just so wretched recently. I got to take Baltimore.
Yep. Next up, in a game that I desperately hope I get in my area, we got Buffalo playing in Houston, and this should be a very close game. I mean, if the Bills lose this, it's going to make them look really stupid with how strong they started the season. And the Texans, it's only their like second year having like a real team, so people probably don't have as many expectations for them. I don't know. At the same time, there's kind of like this aura of magic around the Texans at the same time. But I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
go
mean,
with the Bills.
it's not even just magic, right? They have so many tools.
Yeah. If it's about just offense back and forth, because both these defenses aren't the greatest, I'm gonna go with the Bills.
And with how bad the AFC East has been playing recently, Buffalo almost has that breathing room to drop another game. They'll still be okay.
Von
Do
Miller
they
just
need
got suspended for like 4 games.
so many reasons to look at this? Houston playing at home where they're a lot better than when they're away. I mean, I said last week I thought Buffalo was the best team in the league, and I got my ass handed to me on that comment. Let's go with a bounce back game for the Bills. So we both
Okay.
got Buffalo.
Next up,
I just think that they're too talented to fall apart this early in the season.
all right. Next up, we've got the Colts going to Jacksonville, and I just got to keep riding that Jaguars like anguish train that they're going to get that 11th loss, and Anthony Richardson might not even play this game. And if Joe Flacco's at the helm, I'm definitely giving it the Colts to score like maybe even like 30 points on these pitiful Jaguars, these pitiful Florida teams.
Yeah, Florida teams maybe not having their best September ever. Um, Honestly, Jacksonville isn't as bad as you're saying they are.
Well, they haven't won a game since
It,
Thanksgiving. At least that's what I've heard.
you're trying to convince me really hard to take the Colts with you.
Go ahead,
My
take the
instinct has been
Jags.
wrong every time I've bet for or against the Colts this season. I think right. They are just my kryptonite. Um, so let me go against my instinct here, and I'm gonna take the Jags.
Okay, he wants to get behind even further. All right, next up in the dumpster bowl game of the week, we've got the forgettable Dolphins
AFC
against
East pride.
against the Patriots, who have even less expectations.
Uh huh. Who you got here?
Jeez. It's actually surprisingly close with the level of competency at play.
I just want to remind you that one of the teams does have to win the game.
Yeah. It could be a tie.
No matter how bad they both look.
It could be three
Okay,
three.
both teams can't lose.
Uh, I mean, the
You can bet
Dolphins.
tie if you want. I'll let you pick tie if you'd like.
The Dolphins fooled me once, so I'm gonna pick the Patriots. I'm gonna say that they're still coached well enough to rub something together and come out on this. Not that it's gonna be impressive in any way, shape, or
All right.
form.
What I heard is Chris is taking the tie. I'm going to take the Patriots.
Okay, well, we're both taking the Patriots then.
What did you say? You said you're predicting a tie?
You're going against your own team.
Well, at
That's
least I'm not picking a tie like you are.
that's that sucks, man.
All right,
All right.
Patriots.
Next up, we got Cleveland going to Washington over here, and I don't know, man. If the Redskins keep playing as hot as they are, Browns are just heading into like the what do you got? The slaughterhouse over here. Yeah, I mean it's impossible to pick the Browns for this. I mean,
Yeah, so we got Deshaun Watson, guaranteed $56 million a year. And on the other side, we've got Jaden Daniels. Looks like his 4-year deal is $9 million. I would say the Browns overpaid. Yeah. You can build a lot more pieces around a good $9 million quarterback than a bad $280 million quarterback, can't you?
well, you can't really compare the two. He's on like his rookie contract.
Mm-hmm. But we're just looking at what the teams can do with what they've got. And yeah, for that reason and that reason alone, Commanders are the easy pick here.
All right, next up we've got Raiders heading to Denver. Both of them are 2-2. It's just same division. This is tough, but I'm gonna have to go with the Broncos, who are surprisingly hot all of a sudden after starting 0-2. And this Broncos defense has been absolute fire this season.
They scored 10 points last game. I'm picking the Raiders.
That's fair. I didn't say their offense was good. I just think their defense has been pretty good.
Yeah, and they're playing at home. Probably easier for a good defense to really shine and shut someone out at home.
All right, next up we've got the Cardinals going to San Francisco in another divisional game. And you know the Cardinals can be really Jekyll and Hyde, but I don't think they're going to be Dr. Jekyll enough to beat the 49ers. Took
Hide
that
your kid.
metaphor a little too far.
Yeah, I think the 49ers, for all their problems, right, are still a really good team at their core. Cardinals, yeah, there's glimpses of brilliance there. Can they do it on the road against the 49ers? I don't think so. I'm taking San Fran.
All right, next up we've got the Packers heading to Los Angeles against the Rams. There is still some Rams magic in the tank, but I'm going to say now that Jordan Love has got one game under his belt coming back, I think things are going to go back to business as usual. I think the Packers will clean them out.
Yeah, the Rams in a way are capable of almost anything, good or bad. And the Packers are kind of showing a little bit of that too. This is going to be a very unpredictable game. Could be close, could be a complete blowout on either side.
We'll go with your pal Sean McVay if you think that.
I'm going to go with my pal Sean McVay to
Okay.
throw this game away in the fourth quarter. I'm taking the Packers.
Oh, was? Okay. Next up, we've got the bottom feeding Giants against the Seahawks in Seattle. And I do think the Giants' offense is like starting to come together. But I think Geno has just been playing like the best ball of his career, honestly. And yeah, I know they got like destroyed by the Lions, but they've been pretty solid. And I don't think it's because they're 3-1. I think it's just because Geno's been playing really well. So I'm gonna give
I mean,
this
they
to the
also put up
Seahawks.
like 35 points, was it, on the Lions?
Something like that.
29, 29. Still pretty good. Um, yeah, I don't see the Giants pulling anything off against a team like this. We both got the Hawks.
All right, and then the Sunday night game, we've got the Cowboys going to
Oh,
Pittsburgh, and my whole family's going to my uncle's house to watch this game at night because Cowboys are our favorite team and the Steelers are my uncle's favorite team. So should be a fun one. This one's actually pretty hard to call. I mean, the Steelers are pretty inept offensively, but the Cowboys have just been like completely incompetent. They're lucky to be 2-2, to be fair. God, it's so hard to call. I feel like the Steelers are just so well coached. Even if their offense stinks, I can't believe I have to. I think I'm just gonna have to give it to the Steelers, man. It's just like I don't really think Justin Fields is that great, but he's just been playing better and better, and making shit happen. I suppose. And I think Dak is just
wow.
gonna be
You're
running for
taking
his
the
life.
Steelers in this game. We're going to be waving the terrible towel at your uncle's place?
I think that ferocious Steelers pass rush is gonna have Dak on his ass like every other play, man. He is
Are
just.
you going to take like a 3 foot wide piece of cheese and just write terrible towel on it and start waving it around?
I'm telling you, like Dak's pocket awareness just gets worse
Uh-huh.
like every season. I don't know what it is. Yeah,
Speaking of cheese, that Dallas defense.
for real.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't think the Pittsburgh offense is as bad as you do, but at the same time, I don't think that they're strong enough to really show like the potential weakness of the Cowboys defense. I think that against like a mediocre offense, the Cowboys defense tends to play quite well. Um, as many visitors that I'm taking this week, I'm gonna give the nod to your Cowboys here.
Okay, you're gonna pick him while I won't. All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Gonna be some interesting Discord chat during that game, I think.
All right, and then our last game on Monday night, we've got the Saints heading over to Kansas City against the Chiefs. This one should be a good game. If the Saints get their shit together, the Chiefs could have their hands full. But who knows what version of the Saints might show up. Personally, I think the Chiefs have. I think they're lucky to be 4-0 with how many close games they've had.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. They're very clutch, though.
True. Uh, I'm gonna give this one to the Saints. I'm gonna say they're gonna. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm gonna say Elvin.
Saints over the defending two-time Super Bowl or two in a row. Oh my God.
I'm gonna say Alvin
Super
Kamara will
Bowl
be too
champs.
much for them. I'm gonna give it to the Saints to give the Chiefs their first
A
loss.
4-0 record. That could almost be a prop bet for the week, dude. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's probably smart money.
I admire your bold pick, if not the wisdom of going 0-4 against me this week.
All right, and then
And
my
so with
fancy
with that fairly short slate of games over, tell me about your prop bet.
my my fancy thing this week is who's the quarterback for the Dolphins?
It's Tyler Huntley, we think.
Okay, well whoever it is,
Uh-huh.
they're gonna get 3 touchdowns and 3 picks.
Wow. 3 touchdowns and 3 picks.
Yeah, and we both picked
You
the
must think they're
Patriots.
bringing White back. You must think they're bringing Mike White back because that's basically what he'd do every game he played.
But here's just like last week though, they're still gonna lose
Uh-huh.
though.
So just to get this correct, you think that Tyler Huntley is going to score 3 touchdowns and lose to the New England offense?
Yes, passing or
Did I
rushing.
put that as part of your prop bet? Like they also have to lose?
He's going to get 3 passing or rushing touchdowns, but also turn it over 3 times, whether that's picks or fumbles, and he's still going to lose.
I'll buy you a pizza if that happens.
And
I will
21
just
points
buy you a
isn't that
pizza
much.
outright if that happens.
That's good because I haven't had some stuffed crust in a while.
All right. I've got a possibly more credible prop bet that we're going to have 3 teams this week that combine for 10 or fewer points.
You're saying that they'll all have like 3 points?
Yep, or like a 0-3-7.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
3
pretty
teams this
boring.
week with a total of 10 or fewer points.
All right.
And 2 of them might be in the Miami New England game.
Yeah, that does it for our week 5 picks, and we'll see you guys next time. All right, welcome to week 4 of Chris and Jason's League Pick'em video. Still don't know what to call this series, but we're going with that for now. And it was a very tumultuous week, not just for Jason's disastrous, Pick'em's career, but upsets as a whole. And I'm sorry. Join with me is my friend Jason, of course.
I'm surprised I was invited back after my week 3. I've shamed myself, I've shamed my parents, I've shamed my ancestors, I've probably shamed you. 6-10, ouch.
No, I calculated it was actually like 5-12.
Well, you can go fuck yourself because there were 16 games. It can't be 5-12. Unless you're counting the prop bet.
No, it's a 7, 6. Oh, maybe you're right. What the hell? What did I get wrong?
All right, now you're just shaming me. I was 6-10. You were 9-7 last week. I'm sure we'll go over the details in the next few minutes, but yeah, week 3. What can I say, man? NFL scriptwriters are on meth this year. There were some really, really weird games.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I guess I don't know what I was including that I missed or something.
You had these weird cycles where, for example, like Dallas crushed Carolina week 1. Carolina had beaten Las Vegas this week. Las Vegas beat the Ravens last week, I believe, right?
Yep. Anyway, just to recap, I suppose
You had some really weird cycles.
I
Yeah,
finished
last
this
week,
week
yeah.
9-7.
And then of course the
Shut
Ravens. You're not going to cut me off before I mention the last part of it. The Ravens just demolished your Cowboys.
Yeah, we'll get there.
All right.
So anyway, I finished this week 9-7 apparently again, and Jason finished this week 6-10 in a true head scratcher, and that brings us up to a total of apparently. I guess I have to change this now.
I don't know that I can trust your math anymore. All I know is you're ahead by 4 games.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I guess we got a bit of a hiccup here.
You sure are.
I need to change this. I thought I was. I guess I have to reduce this by 1, and then also
nothing but the finest filmmaking from Chrissy here. This is some riveting YouTube TV right here.
Maybe we should just start this over.
No.
Yeah, I'm just.
If you want.